What are we jamming on now? Jay, what are you jamming on now? Pac-Man?
So a lot of things. Yeah. So Pac-Man. I love this. It's funny because Pac-Man is an OG game. It's a game that I played. Started out, it was one of my original games playing one on the Atari, and I would not have just gone to this game, but it was my parents. So my parents were in town, and back in the day, my mom is the one who really got me started on Atari 2600 back in the day playing Pac-Man, and so they were here in town for the weekend, and obviously I got my new gaming set, not new, but, got it fully set up with both Courtney and I got the TVs
new for
and everything.
them. First
that we
time
want.
they're seeing
Yeah,
it.
first time for them seeing like the full setup. Like I just got it going, pretty happy, pretty stoked about it. And obviously they know I work in gaming, and so my mom's like, "Oh, do you have any games like that we used to play back in the day, like Pac-Man?" So of course I'm like, "Let me check the store. Give me 5 seconds."
I'm pretty sure that's available. Let me fucking.
So of course I look on the store. I see Pac-Man, I see Miss Pac-Man, I see Galaga, and I'm like, "Yep, buying them all, $5, like that's a cup of coffee, doing it." And so it's funny because at first I download Pac-Man, and it's like the Pac-Man you see behind me, the normal original Pac-Man, and like because the screen's not that wide, on the other side of it, it's almost like arcade art on the side, like what you see on the side of an arcade cabinet. So it's pretty cool. Um, and so I'm playing. I'm trying to get mom to play, and she's like, "Oh no, no," because of course it's an Xbox controller. She's like, "Oh no, no, no. If you had a joystick, then I'd be okay." So it went from that to, after playing a few rounds, she picked it up and tried it, and the next thing you know, like later on in the evening, after we've had dinner and whatever, she's like, "Hey Jared, turn on Pac-Man so I can be my high score." And it's hilarious to me because not only is she playing, but my dad starts playing, and I don't know if I've ever seen him play a video game, to be honest. And they're both jamming on Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and so yeah, it's.
So do you have to ship an Xbox to their house then?
Right. It's surprising. I forgot how fun it is for such a simple, basic game. I still, even after they've left, I found myself picking it up and trying to see how far I could get. So yeah, absolutely.
I thought you were going to tell me that you guys ended up having to go to Best Buy and buy a joystick.
I thought about it. For a hot second, I'm like, what kind of controllers do I have? Like, what kind of joystick style controllers do I have? But honestly, what I ended up doing was taking my Elite controller, and because of the multiple attachments that you have for that, the one where one of the sticks is like, maybe double or 3 times the length of the other one, I put that one on there just to have them kind of try it. Because, it's kind of funny because at first they're using like their fingers trying to pinch it and play with it like it's an actual joystick, until they kind of got used to it. Like, nope, they tried those ways at first, holding the controller awkwardly, but I got to give mad props to them because at the end of the day, they were holding it the right way and just got used to playing.
At least they didn't put it on the table like what's her fuck from Sega Visions.
Yeah,
the kid. What the fuck's that dude's name? Fucking kid Cool or some shit. We'll find out soon. Absolutely.
That was great.
Issue 2's coming.
Right. Yeah. So playing a lot of Pac-Man, and then
you could have went and bought an Atari VCS also.
Oh my gosh, that's nice. If it had been actually worth the money, then maybe that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it looks cool.
But then continuing the slog through Elden Ring, I mean, it's what can I say that hasn't been said about the game? It's not as colorful like in a lot of places, but then you get to a lot of places that it really is a lot more colorful, like I would expect from like a Horizon Forbidden West or something like that. So, but I'm not going to dive too deep into it because it's really spoiler driven. But I really appreciate the difficulty at this point because there's a lot of games that I played over the last 3 to 5 years that are super enjoyable, but you just kind of get to a boss fight and you expect, all right, give me 5 minutes and this boss is going down. Especially if you've gotten pretty OP, or feeling that way. But this is a game where even when I go back to fight bosses that I've done before, like if I'm just kind of sloppy, they'll still take me out. I still I may be way more powerful and can take them down, but if I'm kind of sloppy, like it really does require thought and like strategy, and I appreciate that. So definitely working my way through that one as well. And then, yeah, man, Halo Infinite still, because season 2 finally dropped and they changed up the map, some of the modes, I'm back into that just for my PvP fix. So King of the Hill, like it's my new favorite mode. So they were promoting this last Spartan Standing, which is kind of like, just what it sounds like. There's 12, 16 people and a huge new maps, and you just last person to survive wins, and that's okay. But King of the Hill I like better because it's still group based. You know, you're still on a team. Some of these other modes are individual, and those are fun too. But I really like being on a team, getting to the hill, and basically saying like, "Come at me, bro! Like, come and take me down," you know. And so I just like that aspect. It's different from all the other modes. So I definitely have been finding myself playing that quite a bit these days.
Word.
And yeah, those are really it. You know, I've been playing a little Lego Star Wars when there's time with the kids, and you know, things like that. But for the most part, it's really been Elden Ring, Halo, and Pac-Man of all games.
That sounds like enough to take up your time for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Elden Ring, I was stuck on a boss for a week. Like, it was like I would play, go back to this boss, try beat my head against the wall for 30 minutes, and it's just like, all right, 30 minutes, that's all I got. I'll come back tomorrow. You know, man, 30 minutes tomorrow. Still not working. Trying something different. Come back tomorrow. You know, that's all it is. I can't really do it beyond that because I'm just so angry. It's like I came here to try to relax and have fun, and I need a break. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. Yeah, I definitely don't have a game like that going on in my life right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm 100 hours in, and it's still. I feel like it feels like I could spend another 200 hours. Like I don't even know. Like I don't know how much more there is to the game, but it felt like I was closer to the end. But then I realized, nah, you thought you were here, but you're not, type of thing. So I don't know how long I'll be playing this game, to be honest.
Yeah. I still haven't heard much bad about it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, still good. It's definitely still good, and makes me want to rage often, but still good. What about you, man? What you been playing? So tell me about this cities, man. What is going on here? Are we playing Sims in VR? Sim City in VR? Is that what we're doing?
I'm playing. Yeah. The picture behind me is you don't actually get to name. It's kind of weird. It's surprising to me. You don't. At least maybe I haven't found that toggle yet, but. You can't name your city in the game like you can with SimCity.
Really?
Yeah, you don't get to name it. At least that I've found. But it's Josh Allenville behind me. Yeah. So population 997 right now. So man, it's fucking. Yeah, I've barely had any time to play at all. Until I yesterday got to fire it up for a little bit. I think I'd maybe played it once in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but yeah, man, it's fucking SimCity, dude. It's just SimCity. Like it's. And like, you know, it's in VR, so there's a learning curve, you know. There is a tutorial, and like I guess I did it before they did the update, and the tutorial was no question lacking in some ways. And it was a little rough period, but even like what it taught you, you know, not everything, and kind of, I don't know, left me wanting. And I finished the tutorial, and I was still kind of like, like I don't really know. Okay, well, we'll just start building shit. And you know, you obviously it's a fucking trial and error thing. Even I don't know how far is the tutorial supposed to go? You know what I mean? So you know, there's a learning curve for sure. But it's I don't know, man. I haven't played it. I think I've mentioned before on here, like I haven't played SimCity since SimCity 2000 on, you know, my HP desktop in like 2003 is the last time I played SimCity. Yeah. So like I couldn't get into that game because of the complexity of the utilities, like the water pipes in particular. I remember just being like, I don't get it, and it's exhausting. I don't get how to make this work, and everything doesn't have water, and I fucking can't figure it out. So like, you know, going into this, those systems are present here for sure. You've always had the electrical grid, even in like the very first OG SimCity. So, you know, that is understood, and you get obviously how that works. Although even that here is a little different because, you know, you build zones, and they populate on their own as part of the you know, the computer's processing of your city's development. So, you know, it's not like you like build a building, you know. So if you take a power cord or a power line up to a empty zone, that does not get power to a zone over here that might be connected, like some buildings over here, you know, that maybe are connected to that zone. It doesn't pass through undeveloped land, I guess is what I'm saying. So like, and like, you know, it's just weird because, you know, and not, I guess it's not, at least to me, immediately intuitive that I need to get this power line all the way touching something that's developed land that would actually conduct power, you know, which makes total sense within the realm of the real world. But it's just little things like that. And then, the water, it's actually probably simpler than the power. In all honesty, the water has like a very visible and the power does too, but the like a very visible, like it services this range, from the pipe unit that you're laying down.
Right.
You can see how far it hits, and like as long as that radius is touching the developed building that in question, it has water, and will work fine. So there's a little bit of stuff to learn, and this one has like trash service. You got to have a fucking landfill. Like you of course have the police and the fire systems, and there's schooling and hospitals and like all this shit. And then it also has, it's not quite like I imagine SimCity these days. It probably goes down to maybe not quite Sims level, the Sims level, where you're controlling the individuals day to day, but you can probably zoom down and get pretty granular, I would guess. So like you can your view you can go down to city level and you can see shit happening. Like you can I followed the other day. After I built my first police station, a cop car comes out and I followed it around and watched them. And, it's like it's like half-assed business. It's like the car pulls into the yard of fucking cars or of houses and buildings and shit, right up to the fucking window. Very, if a cop actually did this, it would be a problem. But they pull, and then you see them get out of the car and they go inside the building and then immediately come out, whatever they did in there, whatever. It's just they're shit. It's happening, but it's not really smart activity. You can't really. But it is interesting that you can go down to street level and see the people walking around and going in and out of buildings and shit, and you can follow the cars coming, the specific cars coming out of things. Yeah, so it's it's just it serves no beneficial purpose. It's just something to do because part of the SimCity workflow is you're just waiting for shit. You're just waiting for money to accumulate, basically, so you can build something else, right? So you need. It's cool to have something at least entertaining to do and worth watching, So that's a fun element that maybe to me is new. And I'm sure, like I said, seasoned SimCity players or seasoned, City, I guess, was on other systems as well. This is just a VR port of a thing they've had going for a while.
Really?
So, yeah, it's the first I've heard of it. But yeah, I guess it's been around for a while. A buddy of mine was tweeting at me about how it wasn't a fucking revolutionary thing or something. So yeah, but it's new to me, and that I'm enjoying that aspect of it, that I have something just busy to do. But yeah, it's fun. It's fucking. It's all the shit's there, all the tools are there, and the Oculus isn't especially with this kind of much. There's a lot going on, obviously, beneath the hood on a game like this. So you're definitely not getting absolutely gorgeous textures and stuff. It's very, it's kind of walkabout tier. I don't even.
Gotcha.
I would say about walkabout tier, especially the horizon and the shit. And they have a bunch of different maps too, so you can that's cool too, that you have different options for what you're going to. You actually get to choose kind of the layout of what you're going to build your city on. The one I'm on right now, it's got these hills and shit, and there's obviously the water to deal with. It's not just kind of, I don't know. They've always had maps too. Again, none of this is mind blowing, but just having it in 3D to me, and 3D VR specifically, obviously, is a completely different fucking thing that is absolutely has me. You could play this game forever. It obviously has no ending. It's just it's civilization tier. Kiss your life goodbye if you want to let yourself do it. So yeah, it's fucking great. And they've done some. There were a lot of big gripes when it first hit. And they've already serviced a lot of those things and done updates and shit. So they're staying on top of it and trying to fucking develop it and make it, fill in the holes. So that's good. If you're into SimCity, I don't know, I can't imagine why it wouldn't be absolutely fantastic.
Love a good SimCity. I feel like I've also played 3000. That was the last one that I got into.
It's 2000. 2000 for me. 2000.
Oh, 2000 for you. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was playing 3000. I played it for a little bit, and I think I just got into other things at that time. I was like, yeah, this is all right. I don't know, but I could definitely be down for a VR version, though. Anytime you expand VR to something that I already kind of like anyway, I'm willing to check it out.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's it's fucking it's fucking cool, dude. And it doesn't have another thing. It doesn't have, which I never liked this aspect of anyways. But SimCity has the thing where you can kind of destroy and they maybe this is something they probably will eventually put into it, I would guess. Or I don't know. So this is a game that's been in other systems, so maybe they have their fucking, this is our thing. We're not making SimCity here. I'm sure that's their stance on it. So, maybe they won't. But the SimCity always had people. It was attractive to people to build their city up, and then you could just turn on a bunch of disasters and watch it get fucking wasted. And this does not have that aspect or that function. So, but like I said, that was never appealing to me anyways. I don't zero Civilization 2, I've said before, I don't care about the war. I just want to build and develop and progress, so that isn't appealing to me. But for some people, I'm sure that is a part of SimCity that they really enjoy, and this does not have that. So fair warning, that's one detractor, I suppose, for it. But yeah, that's it, man. I have no time whatsoever. So just that little bit of walkabout here and there. I'll fire up and do a few rounds before I get into cities. But that's pretty much it.